Hi guys, in CWQ here. Today is 2/7/2024 and the time is 11:03 a.m. And I have been watching the bills yesterday and today being passed, not passed in Congress, in the House. And they have been talking about, well, what they did is they tried to add Israel and Ukraine into a border bill here in the United States for illegal immigrants. Now, I don't agree with what they're doing. Um, what they were doing was trying to give more to illegal immigrants in a sense that they were stating that those who had come into this country after a certain date would be allowed to stay in this country, and they were also going to push up faster their means to become legal citizens. And anybody who crossed the border and said that they were fleeing from political asylum because they feared for their lives would be allowed to stay. So that means just about anybody could say we're fleeing political reasons and we're in fear for our lives, and they would be allowed to stay. So, if anybody and everybody knew to do that, then you would have thousands of people coming across the border who would just have to state that and they would get legal status here in the United States. I've also read that each, and this is what blew me away, each illegal immigrant is being given $1,000. Now, in some places, other people have been saying that they had heard that it was $5,000 or even $7,000 that illegal immigrants are being given, along with free health care, free housing, and everything else for free. I'm a disabled person and I don't even get $1,000 a month. And I'm sitting here thinking about that and I'm like, you know what? I wish America just for once would take care of its own people that are here in this country, get the homeless off the streets and housed, get our veterans taken care of, and give them what they need. Stop worrying about the people coming across the border. Send them back to where they're coming from. Because most of them, if you were seeing pictures and stuff, are just single males coming across the border into our country. Now, not that it's there's a lot all these people are bad, okay? Not that. Most of them do come here to this country, do get jobs, but what they do is they send the money back home. They don't spend it here on the economy in the United States. They send it back to their own countries to take care of their families that are still in those countries. And then eventually they will move part of their family here to the United States, which means they get more money. And they bring their families here to the United States, and then they're still sending money back home to support their extended family. But if you think about it, when you have thousands of illegal immigrants coming here who are ending up getting work permits that are sending all of the money back home to their country, it's not building the United States economy, it's destroying the United States economy. And that's another thing to think about. Um, I've been watching them talk about passing the bill for Israel. They need to pass that bill. Um, Hamas is a T organization, and something needs to be done. They're talking about right now suspending the war for 132 days. Hamas is trying to dictate how the ceasefire will go, and I think that it should be left up to Israel as to how the ceasefire should go. I am very much into what scripture in the Bible says. And you have Saudi Arabia over here saying that they won't agree to anything unless Israel uh, parts the land back to the 1996 borders or what is it, whatever it is. Hang on, let me see what the borders are. I will find it. They want a two-state solution back to the 1967 lines in order to normalize with Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia won't normalize with Israel without a two-state solution, no peace talks. And I think that this is ridiculous. I'm sorry. In the Bible, God says, "Do not part my land. I will bring them down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat and plead with them not to part my land." So if you read in the Bible, you will know that this is something that is there. We are very much near the end times, you guys. It's time to be peaceful with each other. It's also time to start looking upward. Um, I have been doing a lot of reading lately and as to what is going on in the world. And the last 2 days, I've been watching the border bills. Um, 2 hours ago, Senate is poised to vote on a $118 billion bill. It's a bipartisan bill, and it states that the Senate appeared ready to move forward on Wednesday with a planned procedural vote on the bipartisan border and national security bill, even as the legislation looked increasingly likely to fail due to entrenched opposition among Republicans. The $118 billion bill would grant the president a new power to shut down the border when daily crossings pass a certain limit, while also expediting the asylum review process, which could lead to a quicker deportation for many migrants. The bill provides 60 billion dollars in military assistance for Ukraine, 14 billion dollars in security assistance for Israel, and 10 billion dollars in humanitarian assistance for civilians affected by war in Ukraine, Gaza, and West Bank. I think that this bill should be passed, and I think that we should be standing behind Israel and what Israel wants. They do not want their land parted. They do not want to do a two-state solution. I believe somewhere after that passage about parting the land, I believe that it was stated that if you part my land, I will part yours. So, I do wonder what exactly will happen. Our land, our country is very much divided right now. Republicans and Democrats fighting together all the time. You have, it makes me sick actually when I sit there and I listen to Democrats talk badly about Trump and bring Trump into it and say, "Oh, this is his fault. This is his fault." And then you've got the Republicans blaming the Democrats and Biden. Here's the thing. What they need to do is pull their heads out of their sand and come together for the good of our country. They need to stop the bickering, the fighting, the stupidity, and start doing things that are for our country, to make things right for our country, to take care of the people in our country, to help the people in our country to have a better life. If you look at it, they talk about how our economy is growing and doing great. No, it's not. Not when I read almost every single day that people are losing their jobs, that different companies are letting hundreds of people go. That's not building a good economy. That's sucking the life out of our economy when people are losing jobs. Where are they going to get another job at? Then you have what, 9 million, almost 9 million people working different jobs. They're not doing just one job, they're doing several different jobs, working paycheck to paycheck just to get by. Okay? I mean, look, you got people on disability who are having to figure out ways to come up with money just to get by, and I'm one of them. I have to do things just to find a way to get by each month because I'm not going to live on what they give me from Social Security. It just doesn't work. Um, just does not happen. But we need to, as our country, stand behind Israel. We helped to form Israel. And people forget that. We helped to form Israel back to being a country. And the war that took place back then, yes, it drove a lot of Palestinians out of the areas. But if you think about it, when Israelis were driven from their homes and put in concentration camps, okay? And you think about it, you have a whole nother country of people, those people moved into their homes. So when the Jewish people returned, they took their homes back. So you can't blame them for taking back what belonged to them. And yes, you have a lot of angry people, but at the same time, all people need to learn to get along with each other. One of the things that I would like to see within my lifetime, and I don't know that I will, but it will happen eventually, is I would like to see the temple rebuilt. I would like to see the temple in Israel rebuilt. When you see the temple rebuilt, then you will know that the end is almost there. I'm looking for the masjid, and it is here. This is where the temple would be rebuilt, right here. This is the Temple Mount. And this right here is the Dome of the Rock. Honestly, I believe that maybe the temple was here or here. I don't believe that it was in the middle. I believe that was the courtyard. And then you have the city of David. So much history. But if you look, this is the West Bank here. This is Jerusalem here. And they want to divide the land to back to the 1967 border. To be honest, this down here is Gaza, right here. This area here is Gaza. This is the West Bank. I just don't see a two-state solution occurring. I just don't see it being possible. You have these people and these people who hate the Jewish people, and I don't see how they would get along. I just don't see it. There would have to be a major buffer zone between both of those for them to actually live in peace, and I just don't see it happening. You have the people in the West Bank who are dedicated, and in Gaza, dedicated to bringing the Jewish people down, to destroying the Jewish homeland. So it's not going to happen. You have people that are Israeli who want to live in peace and don't want the wars. And, long time ago, this is history, long time ago, when they all lived there together, they lived in peace. And you can read that. It's even in the Bible. They lived in peace. They may not have always gotten along, but they lived in peace. And now you have people wanting to kill each other, which is sad. So, what else do I got? We have hundreds of immigrants eyeing Middle Tennessee for relocation. Nashville, hundreds of people going through legal immigration process could end up in Middle Tennessee. The city of Franklin received a letter from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security saying more than 573 non-citizens are looking to travel to the mid-state, including Nashville, Murfreesboro, and Franklin. Most of the travelers are from Guatemala, Venezuela, Honduras, and Mexico. Ungley said he had a conference call with DHS last week. Hang on one second. I'm going to go to Tennessee. Okay, this is Tennessee here. This is Nashville here. Okay, Angli said he had a conference call with DHS last week concerning a series of questions, including a request for updated numbers, how people would be tracked and if they have prior convictions. They didn't have any answers, Angli said. The notice from DHS says U.S. may release non-citizens from custody who have been fully screened and vetted pending the outcome of their immigration process. You'll also have check-ins with immigration and customs enforcement. They're going through a process correctly would mean applying for some sort of visa. So coming across the border and wanting to be processed and claiming asylum is they've hit the threshold where they can't allow that. The Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition says they received 150 calls or walk-ins per month. Freddie O'Connell has said one of Nashville's priorities is to ensure that we're all taking care of one another. As of last week, O'Connell tells Fox News that he's unsure if his office received the same letter from DHS, and he added the city's plans to contact DHS directly. The city of Franklin said DHS letter didn't include any details as to when the individuals would travel to Middle Tennessee. They also did not receive any reports of people who have arrived to the area since they got the letter last September. See, here's the problem. Massachusetts is saying that immigrants provide direct economic benefits to the region just because they're working. Okay, I knew several people who were from another country who were here, school visa or work visa, and what they did, and I'll be honest here, what they did was when they got paid, they would take half of their paychecks and they would send it back home to the country they were from. Okay, which is not putting the money into our economy, it's putting the money into a different economy. It's not building our country, it's building another country. If you think about it, because that money goes there and then it gets converted to their dollar and not to our dollar and not spent in our economy and not in our stores and not in our stuff. It's not building our country, it's building another country. And that country makes money, whereas our country loses money. And then when we're sending money to all these foreign wars, if you think about it, with the amount of money that we've sent to foreign wars, we could have made sure that each household in our own country is stable. Now, I understand supporting Israel. I understand supporting Ukraine. I don't I don't really understand Taiwan yet. I have to do more research on it, but I think that we should our country is too spread thin right now. Also, if you think about it with and this is something else I've been thinking about with Republicans wanting to send back the immigrants and Democrats letting them into the country. This is just an honest moment here. I'm an independent and I'm looking at both sides here. When you look at Democrats allowing all the immigrants into the country and you look at Republicans wanting to block the border and stuff, what do you think is going to happen when it comes time to vote? If these people end up having voting rights, they're not going to vote Republican. They're going to vote for whichever party is going to allow them to stay in this country, whether or not they're good people or bad people. Okay? They're going to vote the way that they need to vote to be able to stay here. Now, something that pissed me off a long time ago is we have had immigrants who fought in the military for the United States who were kicked back out of this country after their time in the military service was up. I think, honestly, that those who have fought for this country and supported this country and been good citizens, those are the ones that I would think should be allowed to stay here. And trust me, I've read different articles on that happening. Um, I'm not against legal immigration. I'm against all these ones coming into this country that are illegal, who've snuck into this country, who are here in this country. They didn't come here legally. Honestly, our country needs to do more and round them up, send them back to whatever country they came from, or send them back to Mexico, and then go through a legal process of making sure they should legally be in our country. There should be no illegal immigrants in our country. If you've got illegal immigrants in our country and somebody commits a crime, you're not going to have them on record to know that they did it, are you? So let's think about things. You can't go hunt down somebody if you don't know who they are. Anyway, just my 2 cents for today. All right, you guys, if y'all want to support my channel, check me out on Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. This is my site. I have been posting all kinds of stuff on here. I post posts. I have memberships if you'd like to be a member of my channel for a year. It's $2 a month. I post posts. I have a gallery where I put pictures. I have a shop where I post my artwork. Now, somebody was wanting to get the Peace Dove in blue, so I do have it now for download. And I will post more stuff on here as I have time to. Um, I also have a wish list. Let's have a talk about my car real quick. Okay, so I wasn't on the other day because when I didn't let y'all know about this one, after I got my car fixed the last time, I had the check engine light turned off. And darn if you wouldn't know, 20 minutes later, my check engine light came on. Well, we're going to go back to where my alternator was fixed. Apparently, my car had been worked on in the past. These people who sold this car to me, they sold me a lemon, you guys. Um, Told me that nothing was wrong with it, that it ran perfect, they'd had no problems with it. The only thing that they had replaced was a catalytic converter and 4 new tires. Oh, yeah. They were the only owners of this vehicle. Anyway, guy got in there and found out that the harness for the alternator was zip tied. Okay. Well, he said that it was a connector that was broken or something. So anyway, went through that and got that fixed. Had to buy a new connector, whatnot. Okay. So anyway, after the alternator came this other issue where the check engine light came on, and it ended up being a fuel pressure sensor. Okay, no biggie. Paid out, had that fixed too. Within 20 minutes, a fuel pressure sensor, not a fuel pressure sensor, but a sensor, I guess this one that goes underneath the charcoal canister in the car for the EVAP. Okay, called the guy up, had him come to work on it. Took a week. He had to order the part, and they didn't have any parts here in Fayetteville, so it actually had to be ordered from out of state. And it's just like this car, everything's had to be ordered from somewhere else because apparently they don't have anything that's needed for this car here in Fayetteville. So he gets up underneath the car, gets everything taken down, and he was like, "Oh, no way." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm sitting out there watching, and he goes, and they zip tied the thing. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, they zip tied it. And he gets the box down and everything, brings everything out and shows me. And sure enough, they had zip tied it. So he gets everything took apart, comes to find out that the piece that he needed to put there, they had lost the metal band for. So instead of getting another metal band, they had zip tied it. So when he put it back together, he had to zip tie it back together so that we can find another band for it. So I was joking and saying, okay, what else have they zip tied on this car? Are the tires zip tied? Maybe the brakes are zip tied. I'm sitting here wondering what else has been zip tied on my car. So yeah, I'm nervous. And the things that need to be fixed on it, and that's why I did that wish list um for 2000, is because I need to have, and this is wish list stuff. I need to have the wheel bearings fixed, and I need to get the arms. I forget what they're called. The arms replaced. And I wanted to have money, I guess, from my wish list, have money saved up in case anything else happens on this car. So yeah, I did a wish list, and if anybody'd like to contribute to the wish list, then I will keep that wish list up here. I'm also wanting to get a Razer Kaio Pro webcam. They are $160, and that would be better for me for doing videos and stuff because my camera doesn't really do too well. It's very fuzzy, and I don't like it. So, anyways, you guys, if you want to support my channel, you can through there or through my PayPal, which is below my video. I hope y'all are doing well. Hope I did not upset anybody with my video. Just remember, I am very opinionated. These are my opinions. You don't have to like them, but let me know below the video what you think as far as what this country should do. Um, I'll be honest with you, I am not for illegal immigrants in this country. I know plenty of people who have come from other countries who are here legally, and they don't even agree with illegal immigrants being in this country. They feel like they went through all the hard work to be able to be here, to have the right to be here, and they don't feel that people should be allowed to just come across the border and be here because, yay. They were like, it took them a year to 2 years just to get everything legalized to be here. And they feel that these people should have been able to do the same thing, especially if they could pay the money to the guides and stuff that they needed to bring them across the border. Then they had the money to actually make their lives legal here in the United States, and makes you wonder whether or not the people that are coming across the border are criminals. What happened? Did these countries open their jails and tell these people run to the United States? We don't want you here. You really have to think about it. Anyways, you guys, just don't take offense to anything I've said. I am human. I'm not perfect. I'm just a little itty bitty nobody with a big mouth and an opinion. Anyways, you guys, much love. God bless, and I hope you have a great day. Peace out.